can't accept the loss, I'm hard-headed. There's a little bit of madness to my method. Many falling off that fine line that I'm treading. I risk anything to be great, and I'm not letting nobody.
Welcome back. Episode number 2 of the Reset Project. My name's Tim. And today I'm going to be talking about mindset and just overcoming obstacles in our life. I had a bunch of freaking bullet points and a whole bunch of shit I was going to read through. And then, I don't know, it just hit me. I felt like I just needed to talk about this because I could go over like stats and things that can improve your mindset and everything else. And I've talked about it tons on my Facebook group, but screw all that. Like, mindset is the biggest thing. It is the biggest challenge, the biggest obstacle, the number one thing you need to get control of, overcome, take control, because it runs everything. Your mental capacity, where your mind is at, what you're doing, controls everything. It controls when you get up. It controls what you do once you get up. It controls what you eat. It controls how you feel throughout the day. It controls where you work, how you take on stress, everything. My biggest challenge was overcoming and grasping my mindset and understanding that I had been letting myself dig a hole for 15 years to where it got to a point I was in the hospital. I was dying. I had diabetes, heart failure. I could go on and on and on and on. What changed for me is I knew I needed to do something different, right? There was that moment, that life or death moment, and I hope to God nobody has to deal with that, but people do every day. That life or death moment that realized either I'm going to go on and I'm going to change this or I'm not. And at that point, I was going to change this, and I knew I needed to change my mindset. With that, I had no idea. I didn't have a coach. I didn't have anybody out there to point me in the right direction. There was social media, and you could search up on Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, self-improvement, self-help, self-development, and you'll get 15 million Facebook experts. But nobody really teaches you about mindset. I went through, after I got out of the hospital, I went through kind of a rough 4 months, knowing I needed to change, but I didn't know how and what I needed to do to change, right? I had medication that was helping me get by, basically get better, but it was medication, and I didn't want to be on medication. I went on Ozempic for diabetes and weight, because I was morbidly obese, so I needed something to help with the weight loss, and being that I had diabetes at the time, the insurance companies would pay for it, so the doctors threw me on it. I've got nothing bad to say against it. It helped me get to a certain stage in my life. I'm no longer on it. It helps a lot of people for the right reasons if you use it for the right reasons, period. I don't want to get in a debate about that. It's just what it is. It is a tool, not a crutch, a tool. But during that period, that 4 months, I went through kind of a rough patch and kind of started going down that same direction that I was in that got me into the hospital. And that mindset was that I was carrying stress and I wasn't believing in myself. I wasn't supporting of myself. I didn't have self-love. There was a whole, I could list out. Trust me, I've got bullet points here, but I don't want to go over that crap. I wanted to keep this real. One of the biggest things that kind of got me started in the right path is during that 4 months, I had switched career paths. I had some things going on with the career since I got out of the hospital, and then I had to change career, and then I had some ups and downs with that. And I came back home, and I needed to figure out some stuff. I took a break, right? I said to myself, I needed to get myself right at that point, and I didn't know how. I didn't know what. They had just opened up a Planet Fitness gym right down the road from me, and I said, you know what? I'm getting a gym membership. I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna change. I'm gonna stop drinking. I'm gonna stop doing all this, unhealthy eating and everything else, and I'm gonna change. So, lo and behold, I went down to the gym, got a gym membership, and worked out for the first time. I thought I could do everything like I was 20. And I made it 1 hour, came home to the driveway and threw up in the driveway. I had not worked out in many, 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 many years, and I tried to do too much. Like a lot of people do, they just try to do too much. You get in there and you think that you're 20 again, you're 19 again, and you just got off the high school track team or football or basketball or whatever you did, and you're not. The time I started back at the gym, I was 430 pounds. Right, I got out of the hospital at like 474, and 475, I think it was. And at the time I went to the gym, I was like 432. I was discouraged. I felt horrible. I cried. I just was miserable. I felt like shit. Here I am. I'm 42 years old at the time. I'm throwing up in my driveway. I'm overweight. I have no job. I didn't know what I was going to do, but I knew I needed to do something. So instead of sitting there and crying out the rest of the day and feeling miserable about myself, I went inside to the house, took a shower, and decided I'm going to do it again tomorrow. I'm not going to give up. I'm going to do it again. So what I do, got up the next morning, I went to the gym, and I did it. At that moment, I started to realize that my mindset could change because I was doing it. I was returning. Now, granted, I was sore as hell because it was the first time I had worked in over, like I said, 15, 20 years, like physically worked out at a gym. Not doing yard work or doing any other type of construction work, working at the gym. So, I continued this process and build up motivation for myself and confidence. One of the biggest things in the gym, when you're an overweight guy or girl, you don't have confidence in that gym because you see other people half your size working out with these machines that you can barely do, and they're doing it with ease. So don't give up. Please don't give up. Continue to do it. You will get better. I am proof. And if you need help with that, hit me up. I will help you out with that. Second thing in that journey, in the mindset realm of things, is I decided to listening to podcasts in the gym for like the first 2 months. And that was kind of my thing. At first I started listening to music in my headphones, and then I picked up some podcasts and I said, man, I really like this. So I hit the podcast and I started finding some self-development podcasts, some amazing different people out there. And a lot of these people that I was listening to had written books. So I got on Amazon and I ordered some books. And I got to thinking after that, I was like, I had this idea. Okay, I'm going to order these books. I'm going to start reading these books, and I'm going to start just consuming as much information as I can. At that point, my mindset was starting to change because I knew I could do it. I knew I could turn this corner. I can go to the gym now. I'm starting to build up stamina. I'm starting to build up confidence, but I just didn't have all the keys to the puzzle, all the pieces to the puzzle, the keys to the doors, right? So I ordered these books. I ordered like 4 books, right? And some great books like Jocko and David Goggins, the classics that everybody recommends you to do and read right off the bat. So I got these books coming, and I'm looking around the house, and I got this other book that I had started, but I had got maybe past 1 chapter or 2 chapters and gave up because, let's face it, I didn't accomplish much, and I didn't follow through with a whole lot of things before in my life. So that's the reason why I got to where I was at. So I saw that book 10X from Grant Cardone. And I picked it up and said, you know what, while I am waiting for these books to come in the mail from Amazon, which is, Amazon has a couple days before stuff arrives, I was going to read this freaking book. So I read that book in like 3 days. I just drilled it. And that book is really geared on sales and entrepreneurial development, which I was into and I'm still into. I love entrepreneurial and self-development within that realm. But there was something that was different about that book for me that might not hit everybody the same. But it gave, in the world of sales, there takes a certain mindset, right? Because in sales, you get beaten, and then you get one sale, right? But your mindset has to be able to shed off all of the negative and continue with the positive. And for me, that was just like, that was the first key to the first door. was understanding that I needed to quit listening to the outside world and worrying about what everybody thought of me and believing what they thought of me, and realizing that all that shit, all that negative stuff is not me. And I had to turn it around. That mindset right there started catapulting me. I realized that I could turn it up in the gym because you know what happened? I got at the gym, I got comfortable. I was doing the same machines over and over every other day. I was not working out every day of the week. I was working out every other day of the week, and I was getting comfortable with that. And guess what? I lost 30 pounds in a couple of months, and I got down to 400. And that's where I hit a major point to where I didn't lose any weight because I got comfortable. Once I got finished with Grant Cardone's book on 10X, I got the other books and I started picking up some other things and read some great books, and really just started catapulting me forward to understanding that I needed to push myself harder and harder and harder. To do that was my mindset, right? And knowing that I could do that. But at the time when I started pushing myself, I had always said I couldn't do that. Oh, my leg hurts. Oh, my back hurts. Oh, my ankle hurts. I can't do this again. I can't do that. I pushed through that. Once I was pushing through these things, these little ailments that always stop me, these like bad ailments of mental capacity that would say, I can't do it anymore. My back spasming. I have to stop. Well, screw that. I kept pushing through. And once I did that, my mental mindset got stronger and stronger and stronger. You guys, this will influence everything you do. Once you change your mindset and you start believing in yourself and realizing you can do these things, and then you start challenging yourself into the mindset that you can do even more, you become unstoppable. That's how you take control. That's how you get through the hardships. Look, I lost 130 pounds, 135 pounds, and you think, oh, that's great, he did it. This shit was hard. Okay, I've had a lot of setbacks. I've had a lot of opportunities to completely fail. There were times I failed and I had to regroup my mindset. This is not easy. This is something that you have to do and you have to keep doing. If you fail once, get back up, restart, do it again. I just went through, I started 75 Hard on January 1st and made it 43 days. I failed. I brutally honest with you, I got the stomach flu. I was mentally and physically exhausted at the moment from going through some business things that I had, and I failed. I felt so freaking guilty for the next 2 days after that. Knowing that I should have just done it, I probably could have done it. I was not in the right physical shape, and I'm not saying that anybody should just quit on something, but I will tell you this. I'm going back to 75 Hard. Most likely here coming up next week, starting again, because I was waiting for my wife to do it as well. We've been challenging each other, so I think we're going to start that here March 1st and get this thing done. But it made me realize that I had enough anger in myself to keep doing it at that point. Like I was so upset with myself for failing. Before, my mindset would just be like, okay, well, it was meant to be, blah, 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 all the bullshit that you would tell yourself to make yourself feel better. No, I felt horrible. And I still do. Because I know I can complete this. And why didn't I? So I'm not going to stop. Yeah, I failed. I'm going to get back up. I'm going to do it again. That right there is mindset. That's what you need to do. You need to cultivate the mindset. You need to challenge yourself. You need to accomplish these goals. You got to start setting goals and you got to start accomplishing them. If you set a goal really high, okay, that's it. You better beat that goal. If you set a goal really low, you better beat that goal really quick and set another goal that's better than the last one. Do not keep setting small goals. I don't suggest you set the freaking goal the size of the Empire State Building, okay? It's probably unattainable and unachievable. But give yourself a challenge because that is going to strengthen the mind. You need to build that muscle, the one in the brain, the one upstairs, okay? Strengthen that, become unstoppable, You will become unstoppable if you continue to do it. That's the point. I really hope this podcast helped everybody out. I'll talk a lot about mindset in the future. Remember, your mindset's a powerful tool that can either propel you towards success or hold you back from reaching your full potential, period. Get your growth-oriented mindset and embrace the power of positive thinking. You can overcome any challenge and achieve any goal and create the life you truly deserve, period. End of story. It can happen. I'm finding it out. I'm still struggling, guys. I don't think my life's perfect. You see me on Facebook. You see all my posts. You see the followers. This shit's real. It's hard. Every day's a challenge. But it's winning season, guys. It's winning season, and it's time to win, and I'm going to win, and everybody around me is going to win, and I want to make sure of it. We're going to get this thing. We're going to kill it. This is the Reset Project. I appreciate it. Episode number 2. You guys have a great day. We'll talk to you again.